Gina Carano strikes back, and she is filing a lawsuit against Disney and Lucasfilm.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's go time.
Gentlemen, does she or does it look like she has a case? Even though, granted, lawyers dare not go against Disney because it is an uphill battle.
No, she does not.
What makes you say that?
Because one, you signed an at-will contract. And there is nothing that you can do when you sign that contract. Sorry, I'll send you blessings and prayers.
Javelin.
At will applies, but again, when it comes to the First Amendment or the amendments, you can't fire someone for that, right? So that's because that's against the law. Like, sure, you can fire people pretty much for anything. You can say, I wish you best in your future endeavors. But if you say I fire you because of how you believe or how you feel about such and such, that's a violation of the First Amendment. So I don't agree with Styles on that one, 100%.
Unfortunately, if you're at an at-will position, no matter your First Amendment is not going to be guarded.
The First Amendment will
the First
always
Amendment will be
trump
guarded, man.
that. Yes,
Yeah, it will
at
be.
will, you can't violate amendments at all under any circumstance. Like if it's clearly that, right? Yes, again, at will, sure. If it's work productivity, things like that, even if they don't disclose it, which happens a lot of the times when they fire someone, yeah, they'll be fine. They can get away with that.
Yeah, they did.
Now the thing
But
is,
when they come out and they explicitly state it's because of your beliefs, then that's where the problem lies, and that's what Disney did to
Yeah.
Gina Carano.
Now,
So that's against the
I
fucking
did-
First Amendment.
I did see some of her. We've all seen her tweets actually by
Yes.
this time.
Yes.
Like she's suing based on wrongful discharge and sexual discrimination,
Mm-hmm.
and she is going to have a court order to be forced back onto Lucasfilm and recast, along with getting $75,000 in punitive damages. Now, when it comes to sexual discrimination, apparently Pedro Pascal, but you told me he wasn't employed.
No, he
by
was
that
not.
time.
No, he was not. He was not employed.
I need to see that because I recall he was doing the same crap during that time. He was posting the same stuff, almost the same information during that time. So that's why I need to see, like, when was he actually employed by Disney to do The Mandalorian? Because remember, they were doing 2 seasons back to back, and this whole shitstorm didn't start until like.
I just think it's funny because she claimed like most of her posts were very conservative. Let's move. If we're gonna call it out,
Was it?
most yes.
Okay, so what if
if
it
we're-
is?
What it is? What
It's
if it
not.
was, though?
It's not. And I'm not saying nothing wrong.
Okay.
It's nothing wrong. Just saying it's conservative. But I think it's ironic that how she is a conservative politician. Well, not politician, but she's a conservative. She has conservative views. Yet
There we go.
she's tripping about a conservative view of at will.
What?
Yeah,
What?
that's conservatism.
No, that's
At
not.
will. Yes, it
No,
is.
it's not.
Yes, it
I don't
is.
think that's conservatism.
Yes, it is.
That's not conservative.
That's conservative. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm gonna go ahead and read the tweet that Gina Carano had put out
Yeah.
Mhm.
about this, right? She goes, after my 20 years of building a career from scratch during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made the statement on Twitter, terminating me from The Mandalorian. Quote, this is what Lucasfilm put out. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. If they end quoted that, you are 100% correct in at will.
Mhm.
There's nothing she can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I say they shot themselves in the foot is the additional following. Nevertheless, her social media posts denigrate people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable.
Which she did not
Now,
do.
The onus is on them to prove that what she had posted is indeed abhorrent, or excuse me, or
No, abhorrent,
denigrating people and all of that follows. But anyways, she goes, Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is, I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I liked because I was not in line within the acceptable narrative of the time, which is something that we've all discussed about.
Yes.
My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example out of me. She says, the thing is, I've never even used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, pictures, memes, and occasionally I use my own words, not with aggression, but with respect and the occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times. She goes, look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to the Jewish people in the Holocaust? I didn't. Ask yourself why they were calling me a racist. Was there any merit behind that or history or whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a transphobe for making droid noises from Star Wars. Beep, boop, bop. Was obviously directed towards online bullies and did not in any way denigrate transgender
Yeah,
people.
so because at the time they were forcing her, they were trying to force her. Sorry, they were trying to force her to put pronouns in her bios when she's not obligated to do so.
I can let
She
the
goes-
pronouns slide, but
Hold on.
continue.
She goes,
Go ahead.
Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment and re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech? Now, we jumped to saying Pedro Pascal, but she could be talking about someone else that we don't know of,
Yes.
right? Anyways, she goes, to my surprise, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by X to look into my story. And it turns out, sending them much information I could gather these past few months. Now my lawyers and X, meaning Elon Musk, because he is X,
Yeah,
Yeah, he
he's
is.
actually funding
believe
it.
wholeheartedly in my case and are moving forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, so back in August of 2023, Musk posted, and I quote, if you were unfairly treated by your employer due to posting or liking something on this platform, we will fund you your legal bill. No limit. Please let us know. So that's when a few people online tagged her, and that's when she responded, I think I qualify, and she received a huge support.
But she
on that.
doesn't.
If you took months, because this is back in August, so she took months to gather this information,
Mhm.
and during that time, she more than likely saw legal counsel to see if she
Mhm.
had a case.
Mhm.
Received warnings that, hey, this is not going to be easy battle because
Mhm.
it's not going to be. You don't believe she has a case,
No.
and if she comes out, I'm letting you know, if she comes out victorious, what are you gonna say then?
She won't.
I'm saying if.
If, then I'll eat my words, but she won't.
I just wanna
What there is no such thing as political affiliation as a protected characteristic. That's where she fucked up. First Amendment protects your protected characteristics. Political affiliation is not a protected characteristic. It's not. Your political views are not a protected characteristic.
So you're saying due to her political views, that's
Being a
what she-
conservative.
that's what got her.
Yes, but it's not just because of that. It's because of her last image. Her last image was I'm not going to say she compared, but what she did was she diminished what happened to the Jewish people.
No, she didn't.
She did.
No, she didn't.
She
She
definitely did
diminished
not.
what
She did
happened to
not.
the Jewish people leading up to World War II, conflating persecution with just being unpopular.
Okay, let me dial it back because I read the post. You all read the post.
Yes.
She was comparing.
I didn't
what
say she was
going-
comparing.
No, she was comparing what's going.
You're saying
on.
she's comparing.
Yes,
Okay.
because of what happened during that time is looking very reflective.
So
to what was
what's the
happening
difference
during
between persecution and being hated on and not being unpopular? Because persecution and being unpopular is two different things. Being hated on and being persecuted is two different things.
I think she was getting both, actually.
She was being persecuted.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
being harassed.
Individually, I will concede and say individually she was getting death threats, but most people were getting death threats.
No, she was
okay.
getting a lot.
What
As a
kind of-
fan, most people were
Okay.
getting death threats.
No,
I mean, as an actor or an actress.
Question: what kind of job will drag you in a board full of
40
a lot of people
40
and
people.
demanding
That
you
comes
to
with being famous. I'm
apologize?
sorry, but that's what comes with being
No, I
famous.
know. I'm just saying what when you don't hear this, like you don't hear this type of stuff happening.
No, you don't.
Yes, you
for,
do.
for this type of thing.
Yes, you do.
No, you
all
don't.
the time.
Not all
Teachers
the
get
time.
dragged all the time. They get death threats. Actors, hell, this past week, The Rock's daughter deactivated her Twitter account when the whole Cody shit was going on because she was receiving death threats. Because the whole Cody
Yeah,
thing.
that did happen.
No,
Unfortunately,
okay,
it did
okay. I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm saying, obviously, if you're doing something wrong,
Yeah.
but in this case, it's like she's being brought to a room and she's being demanded to apologize for something that's not even bad. It's something that's not even bad.
Exactly.
What she did was not bad at all.
Okay. But you still diminished and you still
She's
No,
not
she didn't
diminishing
diminish anybody.
I don't know where you
Guys,
conflate
that's
that
what I'm
in
trying to
your
figure
head.
out.
There's
She
no
doesn't-
conflating.
She didn't diminish
She
anything.
didn't
You-
diminish anything.
You have to read the actual thing.
I
what she
read
said.
the actual
Okay, so
thing.
let's break that down. What
Okay.
is it saying?
Let me
What is it saying? What is it saying? Break it down for me.
I did break it down for you the last time, but if I got to do
Yes, please.
good.
And we're going to do it together.
Okay.
Because she is comparing, and I don't want to use the word comparing, but she is basically saying being a conservative in America is being persecuted
not-
just like the Jews.
I'm gonna pull it up. Give
That's
me just a
exactly
second.
what she's saying in her tweet.
That's not exactly what she said. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
That's not exactly what you said.
Okay. Jews were beaten in the streets,
Mhm.
not by Nazi
Mhm.
soldiers, but by their neighbors,
Mhm.
even by children.
Mhm.
Now, where you tell me, I'm gonna continue, but
Go ahead.
let's
Yeah,
start
yeah,
off with there.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the diminishing there?
Keep going.
No,
No,
That's
no,
that's a fact though.
I'm gonna go.
That's a fact though.
That's a fact.
That's a
It's
fact.
a
Keep going.
fact.
Keep
So
going.
is there a problem there?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Because history is edited. Do you have any problem with that?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jewish, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. Now, go ahead and you tell me where the problem is there.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep going.
How is that any different from hating someone for their political views?
Pause. Now she is linking political views to the persecution of Jews. Understand something. No. Understand something.
Oh no, I want to hear.
You have to break that down.
I am.
So one is a protected characteristic, which is religion. One is a political view, and she is linking the two.
Not in the
No,
manner that
no.
you're thinking.
Yeah,
okay.
I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're thinking.
Okay.
But
So then, what is she
no,
saying?
no. She's saying that people are being treated like
Like
they're
the-
shit
Uh-huh.
just because of their political views.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Right.
then, why would you bring in the analogy of a Jew?
Because
What?
what they went through
What
was
they went-
fucking. It was
Yes.
hard. It
So
was
then,
some shit.
so you are, and you're using it as to link it to your political view, correct?
It's a form of comparison.
Actually, you know what? Let
that-
me
It's
dial-
a form of
can I-
comparison,
can I-
correct?
Can I dial
Which-
it back?
So again,
Which is not a
I'm asking
problem.
you,
I think it's a perfect.
but you're still diminishing it to being unpopular.
Being diminishing.
So you're
I
saying
don't
being a
think-
Jew and being a conservative Republican is the same thing?
That's not what she said.
That is what she's saying.
No, she's saying given the times, it is very reminiscent. The government.
That's what you just answered my question.
Given the times,
Given the times,
Given the
it's very
times.
reminiscent, meaning it's the same thing.
she's not saying that Republicans.
She's not.
Or
She's not.
Jews.
Okay.
She okay.
Guys,
reread
are
it
you,
again.
Let me,
Are you-
Let me,
are
let me
you-
dial it? Hold on, Jay. Let me dial it back even
Okay,
further.
go ahead, dial it
Because
back.
Governments do this. They've been doing it for over 400 years.
Yes.
Egypt, they've done it for years
Yes.
as well. Even the Samaritans have
Yes,
gone
but
it
that's
as well.
nationality. That's a protected characteristic.
No. The governments of those kingdoms.
That's a protected
the governing
characteristic.
powers of
Yes.
those kingdoms. They will turn their citizens against a certain demographic.
Yes, protected
It's been
characteristic.
repeated several times.
Yes, protected characteristic.
You're using protected characteristic in the form of our jobs and what we used to have, bro.
I'm
The
not.
world doesn't.
She is suing Disney because she is blamed, as we all said it out loud, because she was wrongfully terminated.
and
But
sexual discrimination.
nothing, and at will, if you look it up, you can be fired except using First Amendment, which is your protected characteristics. And that doesn't go. I did my research. You got to look it up. But even besides that, even before all that, you got to look at what she's saying.
which we did.
And what she's saying is she is basically linking it to being persecuted as a Jew is the same as being persecuted because you're a goddamn Republican.
Actually, no.
She's
Oh
not doing
my
When
that.
it comes to First Amendment speech, the only type of speech that isn't protected is violent type of speech.
Uh-huh.
So threatening to kill, do bodily harm, that type of stuff,
Disney didn't,
Or-
Disney didn't do that.
or blatant
No, they
hate
sent
in
people
terms
to do that
of-
for them.
or
We don't know
blatant,
that.
blatant hate, something similar to like, N words that,
Yeah.
end with the hard ER, that type of
Disney
stuff.
didn't do any of that.
Saying Disney did any of that. No, you're talking. I'm responding to what you're saying. First Amendment protected political
Okay.
political speech. That is not ground. That's not ground for termination.
If so, then
It's not a legal reason for term. And
You're saying that it is.
political affiliation.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
I said it's not. It's not grounds for legal termination.
It's not grounds for legal termination.
No, it's not.
Then why is she getting fucking? Why did she get fired?
Because she's a
She said
she.
it's a political speech. So if
Yeah,
a
so it
political
does, it's not a
speech-
protected characteristic.
Oh my God.
And I quote from the actual thing: illegal reason for termination. An employer cannot terminate employment for reasons that are illegal under the federal or state law. This includes discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, including gender identity, sexual orientation, and pregnancy, national origin, age, disability, or genetic information.
that's a long ass list.
When is political affiliation or
That's
any of
part
that?
of free speech.
yeah.
Where is the free speech there?
That's part of free speech. Free speech. Oh my God. Do
where
you not
where does
know
the free speech say?
free political speech is free part of free speech?
Yes, but it's not an illegal reason for it. It's not. It's still a legal reason for termination because it's not a protected characteristic.
Did you
That
say it's
makes
legal?
no
Wait, that makes no
sense
sense. You just said it's legally
whatsoever.
to terminate her based on the free speech.
No. Okay,
That's literally what you just said.
you guys got me tongue tied.
Because no.
No.
The reason why I say that is because that's no different than someone who's a Trump supporter getting fired because they support Trump.
And that can happen.
That's illegal to do.
That's not illegal.
That is illegal.
At an at
That
will
is-
at an at will job. It's not illegal.
No,
No,
how
that
many
is
times do
illegal.
I have to break it down to you?
It's
You
not
can-
illegal.
Let me say it one more time so you can actually comprehend and
I'm
understand
listening.
this.
I'm listening.
At will
Uh-huh.
means at will unless it's in violation of the First Amendment freedom of
No.
speech. Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
You can't just at will anybody that goes against the fucking First Amendment and our amendments in the laws.
Then the
You
company
can't
could-
do that.
Then the company could be
You
sued.
can fire someone based off of their work, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Like poor productivity, all that kind of bullshit. You can, like I said, you can say, "I wish you the best in your, future endeavors, XYZ," and you don't necessarily have to specifically say why, because you're not doing it off of grounds of their speech. You're not doing it off of grounds of any other protected amendments.
Yes.
But if you're going to fire them based off of any type of speech, that is a violation of the First Amendment.
But
You can't do that on grounds of
at will employment situations are more nuanced and they have different thing. Either the employer or the employee can terminate the employment relationship at any time for any reason that is not illegal for no reason at all.
That's what
With
I did.
or without
No,
notice.
That's
You
literally
just shot
This
yourself in
means,
the foot by
hold
that.
on, wait. This means that the First Amendment's protection against government action do not directly apply to private employers.
Disney's.
It-
Okay,
That doesn't matter. What that last part is irrelevant to the part where he said illegal, right? It is illegal to fire someone based off of free speech.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
There's no even
But
if
it's
even if it's
nuanced.
pride.
Yes,
it doesn't matter if it's
at will
nuanced.
employee situation
It
is more
doesn't matter
nuanced.
if it's nuance. You cannot fire someone illegally. That it's clear that's against the amendments. That's just
Yes,
period.
but
there is
because
no
it's
going
at
around
will, there's an asterisk
that.
there.
At will. No.
Unfortunately, there's an asterisk there.
No. The at will would be everything that I've just previously stated. If it's something to do with like your productivity, or even something that they don't necessarily have to disclose, that falls under your nuance because you don't specifically know what it is. You can fire someone for that. That is at will. But when it's clear that it is against the First Amendment freedom of speech, that's against the law, Chief.
I understand what you're saying,
Do you?
but
'Cause I'm
unfortunately,
You don't understand. I'm
really
unfortunately,
questioning. He doesn't understand.
unfortunately, the bindings of the at will are different per the employment.
Can I
and
ask-
if Disney didn't want her to say
No, it
that,
doesn't
I'm
matter. Hold
sorry.
I got a question.
No
I got a
employer,
question,
no
actually.
employer is above the amendments, bro. No employer is above the law.
Dog.
What are you talking
Dog.
about,
Hold on.
fam?
I
Yes,
got a
they
question
are.
for you, Sal.
No,
So
they're
you-
not.
They are.
What job is above the law?
No one.
Not even police are above the fucking.
I'm saying
amendments.
if it's if they sign the contract, knowing what is it about, there's none we can do. It's a contract. It's a law and abide.
I call this is bullshit. Ace. I know
It's
you don't
law
believe-
abided.
I know you don't believe that shit. I know you don't believe that shit. Let me ask you
Dog,
this
I'm
question.
telling you, I looked it up. It tells you there.
I'm gonna ask you a question. So you believe? So how she was terminated? Again, without a personal sit-down notice.
No,
She
they
had to-
sat her down multiple times and she refused
No,
to
no.
apologize.
I said how. Listen, how she was terminated
Yeah.
without having a sit-down of where
She had
where-
multiple sit-downs and asked to apologize.
Puto, escucha. How she was terminated via social media. She didn't know about that shit until the paparazzis were knocking at her door.
Oh well.
So you're
Blessings and prayers.
blessings.
That shit happens to most people all the time.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't happen.
Yes,
to
it does.
most
I had
people.
many colleagues who got fired by word of mouth.
by word of mouth, or
Yeah.
because she got fired through social media and didn't find out until
Which
she
is
didn't-
technically word of mouth, but on a
That's
digital
not-
age.
wow.
Sorry.
That's not
Blessings and prayers.
So you're okay with that.
Yeah.
So if you were to
Shit's-
be fired that way, like by the way, we're letting go A Styles. You find out the next day, like what the hell? You'll
Sorry.
be okay with that?
Oh well.
I'm going to.
Nah,
Rest
I'm
in
saying,
prayers.
I'm
wow,
going
you
to.
ain't shit.
I'm going to put you down to rest with just
Okay.
this one statement. The Supreme Court has long considered political and ideological speech to be at the core
Yes.
of the First Amendment.
And you're right.
Meaning that her speech is protected. And if you can't see that,
But you're right
got
though.
to be blind.
But you are right
that's
though.
what she got let
That's what you
go,
gotta
for.
Okay, but you got to understand that it's an at-will job.
That
But the first,
you have to understand at will is not above the amendments.
Guys,
I broke it
is
down
if
to
she
you.
signed a
It's
contract.
not. Police
So
officers
you mean to
who
tell
are
me if I
above
sign a contract, right?
you can sign any contract you want. Contracts can't violate the amendments. It can't go against the law. They're
No, it
legally
can't.
binding. And what happens if you break that bind?
So
sure,
is the
you're going to be
contract.
persecuted for
So
it.
was the contract.
The contract. First of all, we don't even know what the contents
We
of
don't-
her
we
contract
don't.
was.
We don't,
That's
which is
number
why
one.
we don't know what she signed. If the contract said
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because
Dog, how does
let
it
me
not
explain.
matter?
I will explain why. I've told you this many times. As long as it doesn't violate her amendments, whatever, they can let her go for anything else other than the violation of her freedom of speech. That's not considered hate. That's not protected.
I
if she
understand that,
got
but
let
there was
go
a contract
for saying
made.
Jews, no, if she got let go for saying Jews are devils, which they're not. But I'm
not what he
just
said.
saying,
You
He's
give
just
me an
saying
if
example.
she
Give me an
got
example.
fired for saying that, that's not protected speech. They can let her go for that.
Okay.
But because of her own ideology, which is protected under the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court rules over any stupid little a contract that some fucking job will, give to any employer. Are you kidding me, fool? You got to be kidding me, bro.
Look.
You have got to be kidding me.
So I'm gonna close out
Yo,
this panel.
I'm gonna let the people, the
let's close this out, 'cause-
beautiful viewers out there that are listening, and let me know if a job with some stupid ass contract is above the Supreme Court.
Dog, I'm telling you because
Why do
I
you
looked
think
it
whenever
up and
lawsuits
they did
hap-
not get it.
Why do you think whenever lawsuits happen, they go to the Supreme Court? Because that is the end all.
And some people lost at the at will because of the contract.
Because they can prove that whatever, if it goes to the Supreme Court and it doesn't go through, that's because the Supreme Court ruled
Look
that it
it
doesn't
up.
violate it.
I'm telling you, look it up. There's some courts where they try to fight it and they lost because they signed a contract that was at will and in
Because
their
the Supreme
contract
Court, well,
in the
first of all, you're gonna have
contract.
to bring up what specific
Well,
scenario.
we got it.
Yeah, I can pull that up.
And
All right.
I'm willing to bet any of those scenarios that you bring up will prove that that did not violate XYZ, right?
They filed it against the freedom of speech, and they got shut down by the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court
you would
said
have to bring it up.
and I'll bring it up. I have to go back to ChatGPT and look at all
I'm not
everything
go
else.
based off of that. I have to see it. And
I understand, but I'm letting y'all know that I looked at it.
No.
And that's what it said.
No, I'm not going to go based off. Again, you could say that, but I need to see it. And if it's like, yeah, if it's understandable that you can get let go for a specific speech that's not protected, sure. Obviously, that's what I said. I said it the whole time.
Yeah.
If it's a form of speech that's not protected, you can get let go at any point.
Right.
And that's what I think you think it is. I think you think that her speech is not protected. Therefore, just because that will, yeah, you could go. Sure, if that's the case.
No.
But her speech
what I was
is
saying
protected.
is what I was saying was what she was saying is still fucked up. That's all I was saying.
I'm not saying that it's not fucked up.
And two, what I'm saying is because it's Disney, I don't see her winning this case. 2 and 3, I just don't think a lawyer is gonna pick up her case. Even if Elon Musk's gonna back that shit up, I just don't think it's gonna happen.
Well, she had months to prepare. Hold on.
She just read
that.
that.
I know. I understand.
You have months to prepare. She would not have submitted that if she wasn't confident enough, especially with the legal advice.
She was confident enough for a movie to be with Ben Shapiro, and that shit flopped. I'm not really happy with her confidence at all either.
No. Not. It has nothing to do with that.
I did say she received the legal advice more than likely. Because doing these months,
not just legal advice.
A guy on death row gets legal advice too.
No, the document that I read from her states that she is actually dealing with lawyers to move forward with the case. This implies that she has lawyers already ready to go.
Okay. An inmate who was on death row has legal advice.
This is getting nowhere.
That's backed by a fucking billionaire, an Elon Musk,
and we'll see what happens.
Has more money than fucking Disney.
We'll see what happens.
But she's, to me, from what I see, her speech is protected under the First Amendment.
And to me, it seems like it's going to be an uphill battle. But
it is going to be a huge uphill
wish
battle.
The best of luck.
If she does win, again, I'll sit back here on the podcast and say, "God damn, you beat Disney."
I say. This line,
but I'm still gonna say blessings and prayers to you, bitch.
You ain't shit.
And anyway, guys, he's saying that because he doesn't like Gina.
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't.
And that's
I think
what I think
at the end of the day, she got. I mean, what do you want me to say? Blessings and prayers. Sorry.
Well, if again, I'm just gonna read this one quote and be done with it.
Yep.
If Disney did not say anything about her social media posts and what she said, based off of her cultural and religious views, Gina wouldn't have a case. This right here could be the deciding factor in the Supreme Court whether this violates her speech or not.
And we'll see if she wins.
Which I think is a 85% chance that she does.
I don't think so.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to the weekly replay. And sorry, this was a little more lengthy. But as always, nerds, give us your thoughts. Does Gina have a case?
Yes.
Is this going to be an uphill battle?
Yes.
And
any legal battle.
Well, yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle. But anyway, guys, till next time, stay classy, nerds.
You know this.